My, how the tables have turned now that it's the left's time to squirm. Ooh. Oh, thank you. At a recent White House event, President Trump declared a more confident and combative stance in his second term. We'll play the clip, but first, for a comparison, let's also show you what passes as Democrat male leadership, and you'll notice a difference.
All I tried to do was just hold Edgardo's arm and ask the ICE agents, do you have a warrant? And they would not show me the warrant. And I said I'd let go of his arm as soon as they showed it to me, and they did not show it to me.
I get threats on my life. On the people that I love. And I try not to talk about it.
I was forced to the ground. First on my knees, and then flat on my chest.
Well, the last guy to cry that much was Joy Behar's gynecologist. Too easy. Now, let's hear Trump.
I was the hunted, and now I'm the hunter.
What a movie tagline. Fact is, he was hunted, but we all were, which is why when talking about forces of evil, Trump would often say, they're coming for you, I'm just in the way. And lucky for all of us, they couldn't get past him. But they tried. 2 impeachments, 2 assassination attempts, multiple lawsuits, tried as a private citizen. 25 states tried to take him off the ballot, and on top of that, his house got raided. And yet there he is. So who's laughing now? Not anyone watching Jimmy Kimmel. Joey, do you remember a couple years ago there was a movie called The Hunted? And it was about Trump supporters being hunted.
Yes, I do remember that movie.
Yeah, and it had like Hillary. I think Hillary.
It was like a spoof movie. Like they were out in the woods being hunted.
Yeah. And it's like, I mean, I remember looking at it and going, I think this is going to happen. And it's not hyperbole when you see what they did. I mean, Biden got in, immediately went after parents. He went after military Trump supporters. You could, so many things happened. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, Democrats want to say, oh, he pardoned so many thousand people from January 6th. It's like, do you understand to pardon those people? That means you had to go lock thousands of people up from January 6th. Like the persecution was there first. When I first heard that soundbite without context, he's like, now I'm the hunter. And I'm like, dude, don't do it. That hobby costs way too much money. You spend too much time in a secluded cabin with a bunch of men. It's a little weird after a while. But, with that first clip of all the Democrats, and I'm like, God, just, if you were the party of, like, how would you even, I mean, I'm rocking a shirt with a crab with 2 pistols in each hand. Like, I'm not going to be crying on TV because I get arrested,
That's a crab holding 2 pistols.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. It's like,
pretty good, yeah.
It's like, I may either shoot you or give you an STD.
So the crab is the badge you wear when you become EOD. Same thing. We might shoot you or give you an STD.
Cat, I was once hunted, and now I'm the hunter. That could be a Jason Statham movie. It could be Steven Seagal. Well, he's gone. But like it is the perfect. Like his life is a movie in a way.
Well, it was like a quintessential Trump comment because it's going through the whole cycle of he says the comment and his base loves the comment, and then the people who hate him hate the comment, which makes his base love the comment even more and make fun of the people who hate the comment.
Yeah, exactly. You can get the great thing about Trump is you can get 3 bites out of the apple on any story. He says it, reaction to the reaction. You could do it's great. He's perfect for any news cycle.
And also it wasn't as metaphorical, seeing as he was literally shot.
Yeah. No, he was hunted, Adam.
Yes.
What say you? Will they ever give up trying to hunt him?
I don't you know, he like you were saying, he'll put on, you know, Truth, what is it, Truth Social, unconditional surrender, which was my wedding vow. But I'd be nervous. I mean, he just sent the USS Gerald Ford over there, which is the biggest Navy, and then he was going to send the USS Biden to the forest, and the USS Bill Clinton to the strip club. But yeah, I don't know. I just that guy you were saying, that guy Padilla, he was like, they put me on my knees, then they put me on my back. I'm like, I pay extra for that.
Tom, you listen to Scott Adams, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the first person to predict that if Biden got in, Republicans would be hunted. And it just like immediately, the January 6th, targeting Catholics, like you're a Catholic, right?
Yes.
Military personnel over tattoos or beliefs. Biden himself just labeled half of America as extremists.
And people freaked out over that comment as well. It was a comment he made, in one of his talks or on Twitter, and people were like, you're accusing them of violence or whatever. But that was just a prediction he made. The amazing thing about this is we didn't even know, like, I saw that headline and I thought he was talking about Iran.
Yeah.
And I bet the mullahs in Iran also think he's talking about, you have to look into these stories, because I saw the headline and then when you read about it, he was talking about the flagpole on the White House lawn.
Yes.
So you can tell he doesn't plan these things. It's an improvisational presidency, because if he wanted to freak people out, he would have done it in a different context. But he was just, talking about the flagpole. And then he mentioned that he's now the hunter. He was the hunted. He's now the hunter. But I think the mullahs in Iran are going to see that headline. They're going to be like, what the hell is he talking about?
Yes.
That's what I thought.
Like, Trump obviously he keeps everyone guessing, all these different world leaders, because he keeps us guessing. Greg, you don't even know what Trump is on any particular day. You have no idea what he's going to do next, and you have his phone number.
I know.
Like, you're friends with the guy, and you don't have any idea what he's doing at any given time.
Sometimes I just don't want to know.
Exactly.
Because then they'll go, when did you know? And how did you know it? And then I have to lie. And then I have to kill you, Tom. It's a shame, because you do so well on this show. But we'll find someone else. There's no shortage of skinny white comics. I'll tell you that much.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.